Hello, it's Mr. Ferguson here, and we're going to go through the long method now for multiplication. The short method is when we have a number multiplied by just a one-digit number, and that just gives us one line of an answer, one row of an answer. This time it's when we multiply a number by a two-digit number, so it could be a 100 number like 345 times 63, but this time we're going to do a four-digit number by a two-digit number. And there's a few processes here. There's a few times where children can make mistakes on this one. There's a couple of really common ones which I'll try and go through. So again, like our other methods, just to help myself out, I'm going to lay my columns out: thousands, hundreds, tens, and ones, and then I'm going to lay the numbers out. So 6,253, and I'm multiplying that by 49. So this is really, really, really important. The most important thing to start with, lining up those columns. If my 4 and my 9 are in the wrong place, I don't think there's much hope in getting this method correct. So we've really got to make sure the 4 and the 9 are nicely underneath there on there. And what we normally encourage children to do is to lay out the whole of the method to start with. So what we're going to need, when you're multiplying by a two-digit number, you're going to need two rows, and you're also then going to need a last row where we're going to add. And another thing we always say to the children to do to start with is to add somebody called Bob. And if they do this at the beginning and it becomes rote, it becomes part of setting up this method, they won't forget it, because if they're doing it halfway through, it's an easy one to forget. And we call him Bob. It's one thing that it's just come across the years. His real name is a placeholder. But Bob just really helps the children remember. He's always in the same place, and I'll explain why we have that Bob in a second. So we've got our columns lined up, and sometimes to help the children, just so we know, we actually write the calculation we're doing. So this row will be 9 times 6,253. It just helps them know that row, that's all they're doing. They're just doing one calculation, because then we're going to move on to another row. That's going to be a separate calculation. It's almost the short multiplication 2 times. So I'll get started with this one. 9 times 3. And again, like I said before, we've got the scaffold here. So it would be ideal if children know their 9 times tables, they don't have to think about it. But if they need it, they can refer over here. 9 times 3, 27. And we really encourage the children to be neat and tidy with this one, because if their digits aren't in the right boxes, it can become a bit of a mess, and it's really difficult for them to add it all up at the end. So we've got our 2 just wants to be nice and small, just big enough there that we can see it. Okay, and then we're going to go, a mistake children sometimes make is they then look at this 4 and they do 4 times 3. But hopefully writing out the calculation there tells them they're doing 9 times 3 first, then they're doing 9 times 5. So 9 times 5, we come over here, will be 45. And again, don't forget to add the carry. I've got a 2 down here. 9 times 5, 45. Add the 2, gives me a 7. Then I go to my next column, and I've done 9 times 3, 9 times 5. I'm now doing 9 times 2. 9 times 2 is 18. Add the 4, 22. Yeah. So I'm adding the carries as I go. And then I've got 9 times 6, which would be 54. Oh dear, what have I forgotten to do there? This is what I'll often do with the children. I'll make these mistakes, and hopefully they can spot the mistake I've made there. I've forgotten in that one to add that to that carry. So that'd be 56,277. I'll just do a very quick check before I go to the next row. 9 times 3, 27. Yes, happy with that. 9 times 5, 45. Add my 2, 47. Yes. And I encourage the children just to check as they go. Okay, I'm happy that row is all correct. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go down to this row, and now I'm doing 4 times 6,253, but I'm actually doing 40 times 6,253. But because I've got Bob, my answer is shifted over to the left, so it makes it 10 times bigger. And we hope children understand the fact that when we have that placeholder, the whole number is now 10 times bigger. But it makes it easy for us to do, because all we're actually doing, the actual thing is 4 times 6,253. and 53. That's our calculation for this row. So let's get started with this. And again, I've got my scaffold there on the side. 4 times 3 is 12. So put my 2 there, and a nice small carry down in the hundreds column. Now I'll go to 4 times 5, 20. Add my 1 is 21. Again, a nice small 1 down there. Sorry, a nice small 2 in my carry and a nice big 1 in the right box. Now I'm going to go and do 4 times 2, which will be 8. Add my 2, which will give me 10. And then I do 4 times 6. Oopsie, I've not given myself enough space there. 4 times 6, add my 1, be 25. So what I've actually done is 9 times 6,253, and I've done 4 times 6,253, but I'm actually doing 40 times. Okay, and because I've got Bob there, the whole number is shifted over to the left. Now, and I always say this to the children, this is kind of the nice part. We just need to do some column addition to add those 2 rows together, and the children often they like this bit because it's something that they're quite used to. 7 add 0, 7, 7 add 2, 9, 2 add 1, 3, 6 add 0, 5 and 5, and again we've got to remember we do have a carry here. 5 and 5 is 10, add my carry, and then add it to the 2. Is 3. And now there's quite a few steps in this problem. What I often say to children is use your calculator to check this. And you can do your 9 times, just do each row. And just I say to them, check, do 9 times 6,253 first. Yeah, that's correct. And then we can do 40 times 6,253. Yes, that's correct. And then I could just, again on my calculator, add those 2 together, and I can see that that's correct. I hope that's helped you for the longer method for multiplication. Again, this is one that is quite tricky. There are lots of times where children can make mistakes with this, but practice. The more practice they do, the more they get used to it. And it is real. This is a really one where if they lay it out nice and neatly, their carries are nice and small. Everything's lined up in the right columns. And if they've got that scaffold, they can start to access this. But I wouldn't suggest going on to this until they've got a really secure understanding of the short method first. The short method is essentially what you're doing is a short method twice and then adding it up. So if they've really mastered the short method, this one should be easy.